Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, today we're going to get extremely serious because we need a mental clarity during some of the most difficult times that we'll face. The winter is coming. The holidays are upon us. And of course, we've been dealing with, forced to stay home during this horrific time. And I'm just going to say something right now. Mental depression, especially during the holidays, suicide rates can be their highest. We need to know what to do. Matter of fact, there's a report just out. And listen, folks, things may feel a bit strange around the table this year during this holiday season. Some loved ones may be missing, okay? Maybe they died over the last year, or maybe they're even sick right now, and things will seem a little bit off. Matter of fact, some people may be looking into increased ideals for the holiday, while others may be feeling very down because they can't have their traditional celebrations, and they're forced to stay home. Matter of fact, the CDC is now telling us not to travel at all and to even ignore indoor gatherings. So this is going to be a very, very difficult time. So I'll tell you what we should do. How do we handle it? What can we eat? What can we not eat or drink? And let's get the expert who can really get us through this, I believe. And that's Ronnie McMullen at GetTheT.com. That's Ronnie McMullen. How you doing, Ronnie?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. It's that time again. The holidays are upon us, Ronnie, and we haven't had one like this. I mean, we haven't faced a holiday season like this, and I don't know if we have ever faced one like this. What is your thoughts on how people are going to be responding to it?
Well, I probably have different kind of thoughts, but my thoughts are we're being told from the control basis, we're being told what we can do or cannot do. So you can't have family, don't have big gatherings, don't travel, don't. Well, who gives them a right to say this? So to me, it's like, oh, we can only have 8 people in our house. We can only have 10 people. We can only have 6 people. It's like, to me, that's your house. You paid for it. That's your freedom. If they want to kick in the door with rifles, that's their shot. But for me, it's like, I'm not listening to that. As far as travel goes, if you have to fly somewhere, that changes the ball game quite a bit. They are going to have people flying, but I just am very skeptical about how much control is being. I think it's test. And think about this. The test would be during Thanksgiving, during the holiday season. They're going to test us again in Christmas. It'll be a worse lockdown than it is right now for Christmas because they're pushing the angles because in January things change. So here's the question. What do you want to do? And here's the fear goes on. You were talking about how depression hits and all these feelings go on during the time of holidays. And this has been going on for years and years and years, not just the lockdown, but the lockdown has enhanced it. So divorce rate is way over the top. Abuse is way over the top. Lots of people, they can't live with each other. They get together and things are happening. So how can we avoid this? How can we avoid what's going on? And food changes how you feel. A lot of us are going to go to pies and cakes and whatever because that gives us comfort. We're going to eat a lot. We, have a second. No, maybe have a third plate because, hey, it's Thanksgiving, so I can eat and be a glutton. Think about how the food changes your body chemistry. If you think about that and how you want it, like take a walk on Thanksgiving Day. Take a walk, unless they're under that much control. But take a walk and eat your food slowly. Don't eat it fast. Eat it slowly. Watch your simple carbs. Simple carbs are potatoes, stuffing, sweet potatoes. These are all simple carbs. Try to have protein. Balance it out. Your sweet. I'm not saying don't have a sweet. How can we go without pumpkin pie? So, and believe it or not, on the Richter scale of really good, pumpkin pie is really not that bad for you. So you're better off with pumpkin pie than you are German chocolate cake. Long and the short of it is, here's a little bit of news. Stay in the now. Stay in the now. if we go to future, first of all, we don't know the future. We don't know that it's going to get worse. We can speculate. But what if our speculations are... It's an interesting thing. Doctor once told me that the body naturally goes to the negative more than it goes to the positive. Naturally.
What?
In other words, you're not thinking about it.
Really?
So with that going on, we don't want to be negative. We want to be positive. How do you be positive? Think of the future things that are going to be more lockdowns, more this, more that. That'll only mess you up. Think about what you have now. Think about the day that you have Thanksgiving, who's around there. Write down 5 things that make you thankful for that day, for that time, for what's going on. 5 things and see what that does for you. Do 2 kind acts, Do 2 kind acts. Every single day, do 2 kind acts. So be kind to somebody, say something kind. Maybe let somebody go in front of you at the grocery store, whatever it is. Do 2 kind acts. And when you do these things, you're going to overcome the negativity of what's wrapped around a holiday and its lockdown.
Ronnie McMullen, folks. Ronnie McMullen at GetTheTea.com. You guys know GetTheTea.com. It's an amazing product, of course, and it really, really helps you and helps your health, I can say for sure. And let me just say, you could call Ronnie if you'd like to at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. And if you would like to find out of his products, if you want to place an order, it'd be great. Go to his website, GetTheTea.com, www.GetTheTea.com. Ronnie, as we're facing these things, now, I thought about the holidays. The holidays are to be a time, really, of joy, a time of celebration, a time of thanking, being very, very thankful, let's say. But I'm wondering why it brings the greater depression out of people. And is it because in our normal... when it's not the holidays, we're just going through our daily routines and we don't have to sit and think about family or experiences or the past or the present? Is it during this time we got too much time on our hands and people really a lot of times really go to some heavy drinking that they're not accustomed to and different things like that? I mean, what's your thoughts?
I think you're right there. I think, people do drink, and you have to ask yourself the question, why are they drinking? Are they drinking to have just a glass of wine and be thankful for the day? Or are they drinking because there's a problem? And I don't mean like they're going to get drunk necessarily, but they get tipsy or they they drink a little too much. Why? Everything's about reasoning. So are they getting that way because, hey, they really don't get along with their family? And here's the kicker. It's interesting how many people get together on the holidays, and right after they get together, they go home and they say, I don't want to do that next year because I don't get along with so-and-so, so-and-so, my brother, my sister, my dad, my mom, my whatever. And I think that's so sad. It's because I think our eyes are always on the future. In other words, if we were going to get together for Thanksgiving, would we want to be talking about politics? I don't think so.
No.
Do we want to talk about our lockdown and how it's going to get worse? I don't think so. What is our topic of conversation? Or do we really sit down and say, you know what? There's a lot of people that have it worse than we do, and we're having a great dinner. We have turkey, we have stuffing, we have prime rib, whatever it is you're cooking. We have all these things, and look how many things we have. And for dessert, we have this, we have homemade bread, whatever, Talk about the good things. So, Susie, how are you doing? How is if we were always to point it to somebody else, and, trust me, I'm not always good at this because we like to talk about ourselves. It's a terrible thing. But if we always directed our energies to somebody else and what they're doing, do you think they'd have a good time? Let's see, I went to Thanksgiving and my whole family asked about how I was doing. Is that a bad time? No, it's a good time because they feel important. And I think what happens is a lot of times, the holidays come up and everybody goes where they want to go most of the time. And sometimes there's people that end up having the holidays alone. And that breaks my heart. And when I see that, it's like, come over to my house. And they may not want to, but at least the invite helps them to say, hey, somebody cares about me. You would never, ever believe, and I don't even know if they print it or not, but how many people are alone for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, the two main holidays. If you're home for July 4th and you're alone, that's not the end of the world. But if you're alone on Thanksgiving Day, or you're alone on Christmas Day, man, that's a killer, because something in your brain goes off. And it says, no one cares.
And think about the elderly in the nursing homes who have been really locked out from all family for the last 9 months of this lockdown, and they're going to be facing a holiday where family are not going to be coming to visit them, won't be allowed in the facility. I mean, Ronnie, this is a dangerous time for these elderly people. I mean, I know we're worried about them getting the virus, and of course the death rate among the elderly is worse than any other population age. But think how many will literally die over loneliness. I mean, this is part of the holiday depression, isn't it?
Yes, and here's the thing too. I'm curious how many lawsuits are going to come out of this lockdown and out of this issue with the sickness. I wonder how many, because think about it, if you're elderly, die of loneliness, and you can die of loneliness, that is a fact. So if you die of loneliness, or you die because nobody, because of a lockdown, which that will change, the stats of the lockdown and all of that will change on another date. So I'm curious how many people are going to file a lawsuit against, whether it be the governor, the mayor, whatever the levels are, and say, hey, my grandma, my mommy, my daddy, my whatever, they died because I couldn't go visit them. This, or and sometimes we have to, in these homes, the homes are not straight up. So, and that's been proven too. So we can't check to see what the nurses do. Are they sedating them during this time? What are they drugging them out? We don't know these things. So this is a scary time. So this is, I guess, when prayers need to be thickest.
Amen, folks. Amen. GetTheT.com. This is Ronnie McMullen. He's with us from GetTheT.com. You can call Ronnie if you want to call an order in, and really, it's a great thing to do. You can call it 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Tell him Pastor Paul told you to call in. And Ronnie, I guess here's a question. So, and I've been doing the intermittent fasting thanks to your high recommendation and Ellie Marzulli. I listened to both of you and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. Also, of course, I've cut out gluten. I've cut out all wheat and barley and gluten and eggs because I'm allergic to it. And I've cut out all my sweets. And doing the intermittent fasting is really working. 14 pounds in 6 weeks. I feel very good about that. I got a long way to go. And it's a battle. Okay, I'll be brutally honest with you. It is a battle. I love to eat great food. And so it's holiday. What do I do? I mean, what do people do out there? Depression eating, comfort food. You know the whole saying. Is it okay to eat a little bit on Thanksgiving and then back off? Or does that one day, if you just blow it, could that send you over the edge?
Good question. Great question. So let's talk about binging. Let's talk about, hey, I do without sweets, and all of a sudden I have 3 pieces of cake, and wow, I just screwed up, and you feel like a moron. Or we could do this with food. So I'm on a fast right now. I ate during the weekend and did 24-hour fast. And right now I'm on a 48 to a 72, depending on how strong I can be. But I use, and this is something that just a hint for fasting. I don't know what Lynn Marzulli says, but this is what I say, and this is my own thing. This is not even from Dr. Jason Fung. But I use the fasting for my brain. And let me underscore that. Meaning, if I can, everything you do is about brain. If you want to make a good business, it's your brain. If you want to eat right, it's your brain. If you want to have physical fitness, it's your brain. Because your brain says yes or no. Your brain talks you out of stuff. Your brain can talk you into stuff. So I use it for brain training. I know that sounds crazy, but I go, okay, if I can go 24 hours, this is what's going to happen to me. I'm going to have this feeling. I'm going to have more energy. My eyes are going to be clearer. My head's going to be clear. And trust me, as you get older, you want your head to be clear. You want your thoughts to be clear. There is a reason that a lot of the spiritual leaders went on major fasts, 40-day fasts. So I'm not up to 40 days, for goodness sake, but I'm definitely I've done 4 days before, and not that sounds great to 40, but 4 days is tough. The first day is brutal. It is brutal. This is where your mind work has to come in. So if you want to, it's not even cheating, it's part of the deal. Just guzzle as much water as you can on that first day. Because for you diabetics out there, things start happening after 36 hours, which is a day and a half. So 36 hours, then everything starts, I call it eating the disease. Your body starts eating the diabetes. It starts saying, we're going to replace the cells. We're going to do some stuff here. And so you're going to see great. And the farther you go, if you go 36 to 48 to 72 hours, it's just that much more time that it's just eating at the disease. So it is reversible. According to Dr. Jason Fung, MD, it is reversible. So for me, I go, okay, do I want clear mind? Do I want clear eyes? I've lost the weight. I lost 25 pounds since I started this in July.
Wow.
And I don't really need to lose that much, another 5 pounds, but now I'm working out so I can try to work on an old man's six pack. And that's kind of fun to do. And of course that works in congruence with, doing your fasting. But long and the short of it is, if you can get your mind, thought, and drink water. And here's another thing too. I have a whole different outlook on water than most people do. I think water's alive, and I learned a lot about water. We should do a show on water sometime. I learned a lot about water, and water's alive, and I believe water is like the hand of God. So when you fill yourself up full of water, good water, not cruddy tap water, not bottled water, good water. When you fill yourself up with water, again, more clearing. I mean, think about it. How many of the animals go to the stream, they drink the water? And where do they drink the water? Stagnant water, or do they get in the middle of the stream and drink it where it's rushing and moving? Water is alive, and it has expression, and it has memory, it has so much stuff. So when you drink the water, you're helping yourself get through the fast, and you start getting full. So this helps your mind, this helps your body, and pretty soon, once your body and your mind, you get going and you get it all in sync, fasting becomes very easy.
Ronnie McMullen's with us, folks. GetTheT.com, GetTheT.com. As a matter of fact, you can call in at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. And let me just say, he's got some monthly specials right now. He's running a major special on Super T and colostrum. He's running a special on that, and Winter Health Boost. Both of these products he's running as a monthly special. It's a great little packet that he's putting together. You always put that tea in there. So, Ronnie, tell us a little bit about the monthly specials.
Well, if you have gluten problems, I would definitely recommend the tea and colostrum, the colostrum pills. If you have digestive problems, again, the colostrum. People rave about the colostrum, rave. And then, of course, the tea is a flush and a cleanse, so obviously you want the tea. Always notice my specials have, the tea in them, almost every single one of them. I mean, very rarely is there no tea, and that's because of what it does. You've got to get the garbage out of you. And then the other one is Heart Love, which has allicin in it. And allicin's great for your blood work. So if you want to get your blood work and very much support your blood work, definitely Heart Love and cardiovascular and all that. Pine bark, same thing. Pine bark also touches on diabetes and your eyes with, a little bit of eye disease there. It'll support and help your eyes that way. And then, of course, back to the tea. And, hey, Pastor, here's what we got to talk about. We can't talk about it yet. We cannot tell the people that Black Friday is going to be a big sale at GetTheT.com. We can't tell them this yet. We got to kind of be quiet about it. We don't want to say that the best sale of the year is going to start on Friday of this week. So we don't want to say anything. Make sure we don't, this is just between me and you.
All right.
But we are going to have a great sale coming up, plus the sale items. Plus, if you put in Paul in the coupon code, you're going to get free shipping. So there you go. And there's always free shipping over $100, but some of you might go, hey, I don't have that extra 100. I got X amount of dollars. You just put in Paul in the coupon code, hit apply, you get free shipping.
Folks, and oh, by the way, Ronnie, there's something Brock was going to bring up. You know, you were talking about, you like to talk about water. Well, you've got a product called Willard Water Dark Concentrate. And we looked at this and we said, what is Willard Water Dark Concentrate? Can you tell us?
It's minerals, and it's minerals that go in your water. So you put a cap full or you put a few drops or whatever, you know, the directions say and whatever you want to do. But it's an enhancer. It brings minerals into the water. It tastes fine. I like it. And, you know, we haven't talked a lot about it, but it's a great product. I use it. And but it's like an enhancer. It's like, because a lot of times the water's messed with, unfortunately, and they strip things out of the water and don't put stuff back and whatever. Here's an interesting fact. If you had pure water, it would kill you. So that's an interesting fact. So it's got to have some stuff in it to counterbalance. So long and the short of it, reverse osmosis is probably pretty clean water, but sometimes they miss a few things. So if you put just a cap full or a few drops of Willard water in there, you can enhance it. It'll give you minerals. And when you're down on your minerals, the biggest thing, and this is especially if you're fasting, you need to not be dehydrated. Minerals do that. You got to make sure you got your minerals, make sure that you've got your water. Because if you go dehydration, you're going to get dizzy. You're going to be, you think your brain's weird. You can't see straight, blah, blah, blah. So make sure you're drinking a lot of water. And Willard water is actually a good call. Thanks, Brock.
It is. And he was really into that. And so, Ronnie is really dedicated in helping people with their health. And when we start talking about mental health, sometimes that gets ignored, but during this time, suicide rates skyrocket during the holidays. And so it's important that we take control of ourselves during this time. And what we eat and what we drink can make a major difference in our mental state during these holiday times. And so, Ronnie, I'll be drinking Get the Tea this weekend, actually. Because Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. And I like what you said. Be careful about the conversation. Don't enter into the confrontational conversations, but be more listening, ask questions and listen and show respect one toward another. And I think it shouldn't be hard. But a lot of people are going to be lonely, Ronnie. Going to be lonely. What other products, right now, that you recommend for people during this time of year for their mental health? What is some of the supplements you have that'd be good?
I think the tea is probably the best for mental health because it flushes you, gets rid of garbage that's in you, which will throw your chemistry off. And then the other thing is a lot of people, when they're depressed and they're bummed and, they got anxiety and stress and all this kind of stuff. And let me go over stress real quick before I tell you this. So stress, signs of stress, your neck hurts, headaches, migraines, eye strain, eye pain, your shoulders hurt, your back goes out, your hips hurt. This is all stress. Dizziness, your eyes, have a hard time with extra bright lights, or your eyes are like, it looks like it's dark outside and it's not. This is all signs of stress. If you can't sleep, that's another issue. So we have melatonin, which is great for sleep. And a lot of times, melatonin on the internet, they have 2 milligrams, 5 milligrams. Ours is 10 milligrams. It is wonderful. I take it almost every night. And it really helps because sometimes I can't fall asleep. And why can't we? Because we're not in the now. I know that's a harsh word, but we're not in the now. We're in the future. We're trying to figure it out. And think about it. What we're scared of is really not tomorrow. We're not really scared of tomorrow. We're not scared of next week or next month. We're scared of the unknown. We're scared of what could happen. And what could happen is all future and not in the now. So stay in the now. Enjoy the now. Take a walk. Go look at your trees. Walk your dog. Let me tell you something. A little lesson on the now is pay attention to your dog because your dog is in the now. That dog is looking at you, wants to play, wants to sleep, wants to be with you. that dog is in the now. If you can learn the dog, you can learn anything. And then the next thing you know, you're going to have more hope. Because I'll tell you something, holidays alone is no fun, but we could get through it, because guess what? Here's the big one. And I know Paul's going to be right there with me on this. You're never really alone, because there's always God is with you. Always, 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 always. Did I say always? Always. So you're never really alone. It is just an illusion that you're alone. And if we could live by those words and believe those words, we'd be yay okay.
That is an absolute truth, and that's amazing, Ronnie, because folks, you are never alone. And you know, and it's so true that even Jesus said these words, I'll never leave you, I'll never forsake you, okay? But go with you all the way, even to the end of the world. Ronnie McMullen at GetTheT.com. Go there, check out all of his great products. Ocean Sleep is another one there he has. Guys, you can also call in the order at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Place that order. Tell them Paul sent you there. You'll get free shipping, and or just go to the internet and you can order it right off his website. Use the promo code Paul, get the free shipping, and be ready for what's going to happen. Ronnie, and you've got bee pollen and spirulina. Can you tell us what those are?
Spirulina is like a superfood, and it's wonderful too. I take spirulina just about every day. Bee pollen, I love bee pollen for the fact that nobody really knows what bee pollen is. It's great for allergies. It's great for your body. When I say nobody knows what it really is, scientists have not dug into the depths of what bee pollen does for you, but it is a positive thing. Again, I've always made the statement, when our last bee dies, we have very short time before we all die. So the bees are so important. So take care of the bees, and you know, I have one of the only organic bee pollens there is. So get yourself some bee pollen and see what it does for you. It really, energy, allergies. Did I say allergies? Allergies. So all kinds of good stuff, cardiovascular, all kinds of good stuff.
You know, I was amazing this summer because we had a lot of flowers around the house outside, and there was bees, and they were everywhere. And I would watch the bees sometimes. I'd just sit and watch them, and they specifically would fly around and pick certain flowers, and they would do it at different times. It would like 1 week they'd work on a certain kind of flower, and the next week they'd come and work on a different flower. And I thought, wow, they've got a rhythm to this, and that all of that goes into the honey. And actually, Ronnie, we went to the Upper Peninsula for a couple days and with some folks up there, and they gave us some pure honey right from the beehive they had. And I'm thinking, wow, this is really going to be good for a lot of things. Is that true?
Absolutely. Honey is really great for the body. And it's, the word leaves my mind, but it's great for, what do I want? It's like cuts and that kind of thing. You just put honey on, and it's really good for you. And and even on a diabetic, honey will raise your blood sugar. Yes, it will, but it'll go down quicker than normal sugar. So it will take you up, but it will come down quicker. So it's, you know, if you use it lightly, it's not even bad for a diabetic.
Ronnie McMullen, folks, this is the man, the man with the mission, okay? GetTheT.com, www.getthet.com, or call at 928-308-0408. Get the tea. Did I say GetTheT.com? And truly, guys, the tea is, oh, by the way, if you've never tried it, his tea tastes great. Tastes great, okay? It's not just, I guess I got to drink this tea. No, it tastes great. Ronnie, you worked hard to perfect this, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And it's a beautiful thing.
So, folks, again, don't be depressed, okay? Let's not get depressed. Let's look at all the positive things that God has done for all of us and be thankful for so many things. And always someone else is probably struggling much worse. And anyway, the Lord will never leave us or forsake us. So, Ronnie, we appreciate you being with us at GetTheT.com. Thank you so much for your insight. You're always honest, and the supplements you provide and the products you provide are really for the betterment of our health, and we thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So happy holidays, everybody, and be blessed. Be blessed. All right? We'll see you next time on the Coming Apocalypse.